All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the IWCA show. Nick Thurston here, one of the board of directors with the IWCA, and I am joined today by Kevin Hargis and Jimmie Jones. These are new friends of mine that I'm just getting introduced to right now, so I'm going to ask them both to give an introduction of themselves, and then I think we've got a really special treat for you guys regarding safety, which is a huge, big, necessary thing that we all need to be aware of in our businesses. And today, I think, is really going to drill that home for some of you guys. So let's get started. Kevin, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself first, since we're going to hear a lot from Jimmie in a minute.
Right on. Kevin Hargis. I've been in window cleaning. I always say my first experience was I was about 5 years old when I wet my first window for my dad. Started my own business in 1990, went to work for a few other people over the years, started the business I have now in 2009, and just been going great ever since. So long history, and I have history also in janitorial, not just window cleaning, but window cleaning is one of the cores of our business. So long history in window cleaning, and it's kind of been the blood. I just started my daughter this year full time, so she's officially now the third generation window cleaner for our family. So
that's awesome. You got me beat. I was just telling Jimmie I started cleaning windows at 12 years old, so got me beat by a couple years.
Yeah,
no, that's awesome. Jimmie, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background?
My name is Jimmie Jones. Originally, we were in Tucson, Arizona area. That's where I originally started doing window cleaning. I had learned how to do it from my dad. They used to have a construction cleaning company, and they did the windows there too. And then I got into other work from there, construction, and then part of engineering. I did the testing and quality control for roads, projects like that. But just was getting burnt out with the schedule there. Yeah. And we ended up deciding we wanted to change things, do something on our own. And about 10 years ago, we chose window cleaning and got that going. And then almost 2 years ago, we started the window cleaning when we moved here to Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia area.
Awesome. What made you choose window cleaning over everything else that you learned and had experience in?
So for a little bit of the time after I stopped working, there wasn't much funds left. We had kind of gone through that, and it was, I had background in cleaning. My wife had done cleaning, and so it was either cleaning or I said, well, I've done window cleaning before, and I think I can get that started pretty cheap. So we did window cleaning.
There you go. I love that. That's one thing I love about window cleaning. Like anybody and everybody can learn that skill and go out and do it. But we're going to talk about how to do it right today, at least one aspect of it.
For sure.
So with all that being said, Jimmie, let's just jump right into it. So Jimmie, you recently got injured on the job, right?
Yeah, it was last couple windows of the day. I had a ladder slip out from under me, fell about 10 to 12 feet. The way I fell, I ended up breaking both my wrists, pretty bad, and fractured my back. So,
wow.
Yeah, it wasn't a very fun experience by any means.
Yeah, wouldn't want to do that again, would you?
No.
So with what happened, can you give more detail on like how that happened and like what others could do to maybe avoid a similar situation?
Yeah, most definitely. So especially over the last couple of years when I restarted the business, I was really trying to focus on being safer, implementing better ways of doing things so that we could prevent this type of thing from happening. So I think it really strikes out to me that the importance of, even if you're doing safe things, it doesn't mean you can be lax in areas. So I did have a ladder set up. It was a hot day, 6 o'clock in the evening, so I was tired. It was on a smooth asphalt driveway, and I had the angle right and everything. I was tired. I didn't want to put up the stand out. And I went up there, and it was a Little Giant. And if you're familiar with the Little Giants, they have a little bit of a pivot in the center. If like if you're getting on and off of them, you can feel that. And so, my feet were below the gutter line, but the window was a couple feet away. So I leaned forward a little bit, and I felt it move. And I think, in my opinion, because I was tired and I didn't react the best, instead of leaning back and grabbing it, I leaned forward and touched the house, and that created the pivot on the gutter line.
And took the weight off the feet, basically.
Yeah, and kicked it out. And, maybe the smooth asphalt probably, it felt pretty grippy, but it still slid out. So, it happened so fast.
Yeah,
but
that's the scary thing.
That, again, that was the key to me was, I had already done the window right next to it, no problems. I'm one window over. And, it's just that part of being, when you're tired, when it's late, or you're stressed, or you're in a hurry, those are times when you tend to skip little things. And that little thing costs a lot. So I think that's an important thing to remember. Whether you're a solo guy or you have employees, I think ladder accidents are one of the leading deaths in construction fields and in workplace accidents.
Yeah, no, that's what I was just going to say. You mentioned that you had just done that window next to it in the exact same manner, I'm sure. And it just goes to show that, like, you could do something 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times over, and you just never know when something's going to go wrong. And it's that complacency, right? Complacency kills. It's one of my guys that's what they used to preach in the Marine Corps all the time. Complacency kills. And it's so true in any industry. You get too comfortable doing what you're doing, thinking you don't need the standoff or, whatever it is, those little things that, it's like, I've done this 1,000,000 times, everything will be fine, right? And then just like that, everything goes to shit. So that's scary, man.
And the statistics show that the majority of ladder accidents are, I think it's between 6 and 8 feet high. It's not like being 20 or 30 or on a 40-foot ladder and you fall, that were a lot of times the problem is when you're starting to go up that high, you tend to be a little bit more in tune with what's going on and really think about safety. But you're climbing a step ladder or you're just going up to the second floor. Oh, I've done, kind of like what you said, I've done this 100 times, and that's when stuff happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, because there's a lot of people that might think that you have to be really high in order to get injured. And going back, when in 2014, I had fallen from 3 feet, and I landed on my feet and everything, but the way my arm was positioned, when it pulled a muscle in my neck and made me had slurred speech for like a month. It was pretty bad.
Wow.
But I was on a step ladder and ground felt solid, but in Arizona, they have little mice that burrow underground. And I did the whole window. I wiped the edge, and that extra weight on the corner dropped it. And like I said, I landed on my feet. It just twisted my arm wrong. So a lot of problems can happen even at small heights.
Yeah, especially, I know we're drilling in a point here, but I think the most accidents that I've heard of happen on the 2-foot steps, because you just get complacent using them. You're stepping on the top of it and you lean to get the next window, and then the whole thing kicks out. I've had it happen to me. I've known too many people that it's happened to, and it's the same thing. It's just complacency. You're just too comfortable, right? And you're right. Even though you're only 2 feet up, when you fall and twist your arm, hurt yourself, land on your shoulder, land on your head, whatever. So good points, you guys. Thank you. So Kevin, what is ITF?
So I think it's been about a year and a half. There was several of us that got involved, wanted to do a little something different with Facebook groups, because there's quite a few of them out there, and you can get caught up in some drama pretty quick. There's a lot of membership in it. So went and started this Facebook group called Into the Flow. And the guy that actually started it, he moved on, but the rest of us that were there, that were kind of part of the core group that took it over, we just kind of went and ran with it. And the whole idea was to be a non-judgmental, drama-free, no negativity type of group, where it didn't matter if you were brand new and had a question, the most simple question in the world, you weren't going to be berated for it. And if there's a wealth of knowledge from people just starting out to people that have been doing it for 30, 40 years. And there's people that do just, residential, there's commercial, there's high-rise guys, there's all kinds of people in the group. And so we wanted to do that and have that, and that was working great. And then I don't remember who the first one was, but there was somebody that got hurt, and we all kind of came together and said, man, what could we possibly do as a group? We've got a good core group of people here. How could we possibly help? So we reached out to a couple vendors, said, hey, we're looking at doing some type of fundraiser where we can get some money for somebody that got hurt. And they jumped on board with it. And once one or two of them did, then we're like, hey, this is kind of cool. So I think on the first one, Sean had donated like 5 SF9 poles. And I mean, there was a lot of stuff. And then more and more vendors got on board with it. And I don't remember what the total was, but I want to say we raised somewhere around $2,500 that first time. And after that,
awesome.
It was like, wow, this is really cool how everybody can come together. And we did it in a raffle format. So basically you go to the GoFundMe, you donate, you take a screenshot of your donation, you send it to us, we put you in the raffle. And then, matter of fact, the last one before this that we did the drawing at the IWCA convention, right after the banquet. And so it just kind of has progressed, and we did a little different format this time. We had an auction. We still have the raffle going on right now. And I believe we're up to $5,000 that we put onto Jimmie's GoFundMe. And again, that's all the vendors that have come through and donated items, and all of our members that are in that Into the Flow Facebook page that are donating that money. And they do it freely. And yeah, I mean, you can win some stuff, but people are donating more than just what's required to get a raffle entry. So it's just kind of progressed and evolved into something more than just a non-drama Facebook group.
Right.
And everybody has taken to it. And there's a lot of us are still in all the other Facebook groups. Mm-hmm. We go over there and we talk about things and with different people too. But to be able to, especially after a long day and you're tired and you don't want to deal with drama, it's a great place to just kind of go and relax and still be able to talk about window cleaning.
I love that. I actually am a member of the Into the Flow group on Facebook. Now, I am guilty of I don't use Facebook that much. But honestly, the reason for that is because of all the negativity that would be on there. So I was just like, what's the point in going on here? So that is so good to hear that that's like what that's dedicated around. Because, I've joined all the other different groups too, and I'll leave them when I just see, somebody will say, hey, what's the best squeegee? And they just get berated, like you said, with insults, like you're an idiot, use a water fed pole, or, whatever. And it's like, what, they're brand new, give them a break,
Well, and that's where a lot of it is. Cause I'd try not to get caught up in it too much, but every once in a while, somebody would just be really nasty. And it's like, do you not remember where you came from? There was a time that you didn't know all this stuff. And the whole point of learning is, you have to ask questions to get there, you to get the knowledge. And he's asking questions. He's not just going out, or she, not just going out and doing something and just thinking they know everything. And so, it just was something that all of us that kind of were there in the beginning, we were just tired of the other stuff. And it's like, hey, let's make this a little different. And it's a lot of work, because we police every post that comes through. We police every member that comes in. So, it's not just something we've denied membership to people. We deny posts sometimes. The other thing that we don't allow is spamming. So you don't come in and you got 30 different posts that are about this pole or that pole or this squeegee and that, We give vendors an opportunity to talk. About once a month, we'll all the different vendors do some type of sales post, or if it's safety related, then it can go in pretty much any time. So that's really what the core of it is, and it just keeps evolving. So who knows where it's going to be in another year.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. Super appreciated that you guys do that, and awesome what you guys are doing for Jimmie. That is super, super cool. Is it still possible for people to go out in there and donate?
Yeah, we haven't finished the raffle yet. I think we're going to run that through the end of this week. The auction ended last Friday night, I believe it was, and there was 2 poles in the auction
Okay.
that raised about $1,400. So the raffle is still going on. If you go to the end of the flow page in the announcements, it's pinned up at the top. It'll take you to a website. There's 3 different levels of donations that you can make: a $20, a $40, and a $75 level. And then we recently added, if you donate 125 or more, you get an entry into all 3 levels. So there's some really cool prizes. It shows what the prizes are and what the donations are, who donated them. So yeah, we're gonna probably run that at least through the end of this week.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Jimmie,
I just want to say that their help has been huge. And the fact that all the sponsors, IWCA, you guys have contributed, I think, in all 3 of the
they sure did.
ones that you guys have done. And so all that support really goes a long way and helps the group a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. The IWCA, I came on as a board member last year. I was just telling Jimmie, and, I've been a member for a long time and got invited to be on the board, and just getting to know this group of guys and girls who put together the information and the programs for everyone. It's so sincere. I love this group of people so much.
Yep.
Everything they do is just, it's all selfless, just to help the average window cleaner out there and whoever else, get by. So I love that. So that being said, Jimmie, how has the IWCA been beneficial to you and your business outside of even the injury?
Yeah. I definitely like all the articles on understanding glass better. I think those are really great. And you guys do a weekly, I think it's weekly, might even be more than that, but the safety tips every week.
Toolbox talks.
Even though it's just my wife and I working, I still like to read those, and it's just nice that that's sent to you. You have it there. You don't have to find it, and you're ready to go. So I think those are huge things.
Yeah, I completely agree. For us personally, that was kind of really where our relationship with the IWCA started. We were it's so hard to come up with content for safety trainings every week, every month, and the IWCA just does it all for you. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, and you are a member, definitely do get a subscription. It just comes in your email every week, every Tuesday. You get that Toolbox Talk. Those are awesome. What about you, Kevin?
All those things that Jimmie was talking about, I think a big part for me is the camaraderie that you were able to get through an organization like the IWCA. A lot of like-minded people that are kind of really going for the same goal, and it may be to grow the business, it may be to maintain the business, but everybody has that mentality of what can we do to help other people too.
Right.
There's no one that I met through either any of the membership committee or the convention committee that I help out on, the convention last year, any of the I've never met one person that didn't want to give you some information, didn't want to help you in some way. Yeah. And I think for myself, it makes you feel that you're a part of something a lot bigger, and in such a professional way, it kind of re-energizes you, especially on those days when you kind of get burned out and you just, you're not even sure why you're doing it still. Yep. And sometimes all you got to do is get on and chat with somebody, or you pick up the phone, look at it, the toolbox stuff online, and you're just like, you know what, there's stuff here, and you just kind of just re-energize yourself. So I think that's what the biggest part for me has been.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that as well. So Jimmie, I want to respect your guys' time, you and Kevin, but before we go, actually, either one of you, but Jimmie, I'll start with you. Is there any final thoughts, any other words of wisdom that you have for the people listening and watching this, specifically around safety or anything really? But
yeah, I would say that, especially towards the end of the day, as you're tired, definitely be hyper vigilant in regards to your safety. That's when you need to really look at things and slow down. It's not that extra few minutes isn't gonna could mean your life. Could save you a lot of money too.
Yeah, that is for sure. What about you, Kevin? Any thoughts on that?
Kind of what we had touched on, it's the simple things a lot of times that you take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And when you really think ahead and you're like, if I climb this ladder and I don't, or I get on this roof or whatever it is that you're doing, and I don't do everything that I'm supposed to do, this could be the last window I ever clean in my life. This could be the last time. This morning might have been the last time that I saw my family. Yeah. When you really start to put it into realistic, tangible things that you can think about, it starts to mean a little bit more. Because again, like you said, we've done this 100 times. I don't know how many times I've been up and down. I went up on the job I'm on today. I had to get on a roof, and it has the vertical ladder that's attached to the wall. Mm-hmm. No big deal. I'm going up. I'm like, one slip. Yeah. One slip, and it's 10 feet down, but that could end my career. It could end my life. So I think that's where we really all should just try to take that, even if it's just a few seconds, to really think through what we're doing. Do I really want this to be the last time I ever clean a window? No. Okay. Do I have my feet set? Do I have this in place? What if this happens? What if that happens? And really, really make it a thoughtful process that we're going through when it comes to anything safety related.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I really like the way you put that. Take that second to think, is this the last window I ever want to clean? When I first started cleaning windows, my dad drilled into my head that no window in the world is worth your life. It's just not worth it. Like, why are you going to risk something just to clean a window so that some other rich person looking out their fancy office building or whatever can see better? It's not worth your life. Yeah. It's just not. So if it can't be done safely, just don't do it.
Just don't do it at all.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. And it was hard for him actually to tell me that story, because he's been cleaning windows for 45 plus years. So he came from the days of the cowboys, before harnesses were a thing, before safety was a thing. And he's done some stupid stuff. And he tells me, he's like, you're kind of lucky to be here, kid, because I've done some dumb stuff. And he's like, I'll tell you about looking back on it, it was never worth it. It was never worth it.
I've done some really crazy things too when I look back, and I do everything I can not to get on a step ladder now.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Yeah. I just wanted to, just kind of more so drill it in. Like, the complacency thing is, like, I think where a lot of people get, just too comfortable around what they're doing. And like both of you said, if you just take that extra minute, it could, you're probably thinking in the moment, oh, I don't have time, right? I don't have time to make sure that the standoff is on correctly. I don't have time to make sure I go find somebody to foot my ladder or to clear the pebbles out from under the, it's those things that take an extra 10 seconds that could save you. Like, Jimmie, how long were you out from your injury?
Well, in total, I'll probably be out of work for about 5 to 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Can you imagine being
out of work? And it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
It could have been so much worse if he fell and hit his head.
Yeah.
Again, one of the things I like to think about, there's a great book. It's called Traffic, Why We Drive the Way We Do. And basically it takes, from the psychological standpoint, that the more safer we make things, the less vigilant we become. Mm-hmm. There's always something that's going to catch us. Yep. So in a car, there's a seatbelt, there's airbags, there's guardrails, there's rumble strips, there's all these things that are going to catch us. It's going to save us. Well, there are a lot of safety innovations out there, and we may use some, we may not use them all, but still having that extra thought of what if, and being vigilant and not getting complacent that something will catch me. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen to me. And getting that out of your head and really, really, again, focusing on it could, and what if it did, and I'm going to do this safer this time.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Or like you said, not at all.
Yeah.
I have a friend that I do work with. He does tinting and help him out sometimes. And I'm always got after him when I'm working with him, because he sets up his ladders. He doesn't lock them in place, or he has crazy angles. And after I fell, he called me up and he said, man, I've been doing this 25 years. I've never had a fall. He's like, after seeing that you are always getting after me, I realized that it's not a matter of if I fall, it's when I fall. So he's like, I'm totally changing things now. So hopefully people go away with that.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
sure.
You guys listening to this, take it serious. Take it, firsthand experience. Jimmie fell off a ladder. I have employees. I had an employee fall off a ladder last year, and it was the same thing. It was just a complacency issue. He thought everything was good. He didn't check the stability of the ladder before he climbed. It was actually on his way back down from a lower roof, and it just slipped out from under him. And it just happens that fast. So take the extra time, take your safety serious. Don't make it the last window you've ever cleaned. And unless you guys have anything else you want to say, I guess I'll let you get going. But Jimmie, Kevin, thank you both so much for your time. And Jimmie, thanks for sharing your story. Everybody go check out Into the Flow on Facebook. See if they'll let you in if you're not going to be an asshole. And let's all watch out for each other.
Great. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Awesome, you guys. Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you.